Yo, what is up, guys? A lot of you have been asking me to make a video about weapons in version 2.2 for Farlight 84. A lot of you have been struggling for weapons. They have changed the recoil, the spread, and some of the weapons have been insanely buffed. Some of them have been very, very nerfed, and people are having a hard time keeping up with what is good, what is bad. So in this video, I'm going to rank the weapons from good to bad in a tier list. I'm going to explain why. And hopefully this will help you guys. Alongside of this, I will also give you guys a chart of the actual damage that weapons do, so you can have a good idea of what it actually does more damage than other weapons. But keep in mind that this chart is based off of you being level 1 in the game and also just picking up a gun from the ground loot. Okay, now without further ado, let's hop into it, and I hope this helps you out. Okay, let's see. So we're just gonna do this in the order which the guns are displayed right now on the template. So no particular order, I'm just gonna rate them to see which ones are good, which ones are bad out of my personal experience. Please feel free to agree or disagree with me. Leave your anger in the comments, or leave any comments if you agree with me. Okay, so first up we have Jupiter. Jupiter, this patch has actually been not too bad. I wouldn't really pick it over certain other guns, so I think to put it safe, I would put it on the B tier. Now let's have a look at the numbers. So number-wise, Jupiter has 18 base damage, and on headshot it has 27 damage, which is not bad. So for me personally, I'm going to put this one on the B tier. Up next we have Mad Rabbit. Now Mad Rabbit is actually one of those SMGs that is good to pick up early game. It does the job for you, but you do want to swap it out with another gun later on. So I would put this on the B tier as well. It's okay, not the best, but it does the job. Now up next we have White Dwarf, and White Dwarf is pretty interesting because last season it was very strong. A little hard to use because the fire rate is super fast, but it was very nice. You could just one clip someone and then just reload and one clip someone else. So it was super strong. After this patch, it's not as good as before, but it is still good. This is actually one of my go-to SMGs, so I am gonna put this on the A tier. Up next we have MF18, and this is a really big surprise because in the previous season this was actually the worst gun, and in this season it is actually a really good gun. Just to give you some numbers, MF18 base damage 17, but as this is a triple burst SMG, it is 17 times 3. So if you hit all 3 shots on that burst, then that does tons of damage. On a headshot, let's see what that is. So on a headshot, that is actually 22 damage. Wow, that is insane. So this is a really good gun, very hard to use, but if you manage to use it, it is super strong, and I do think it is up on the S tier for pro players who can use this. All right, up next we have Uzi, and Uzi is another SMG which is really strong. Compared to last patch and this patch, this gun is still pretty similar. The only thing that I don't like about Uzi is that you can't put a custom scope on it. So no 1-time scope, no 2-time scope, which is really too bad because this gun is super good. This is actually one of my go-to SMGs, so I either always go for White Dwarf or Uzi. So this for me is definitely next to a White Dwarf. Actually, it's a little bit better than White Dwarf, so maybe I will put this up in the S tier actually. Up next we have Bar 95. Now Bar 95 used to be pretty good. Nowadays it is not as good. Currently in the patch, Bar is pretty buggy. Sometimes you are straight on a target and the shot will just not connect for some reason. There's some bugs going around, but overall Bar 95 is a really fun weapon to play. You can't one-tap people, but you can do tons of damage. I am just gonna put this in the B tier. Fun to use, nice to use, but not the best to use. Okay, up next we have Defender, and Defender in this current patch is actually, damage-wise, it's actually pretty interesting, but because of the fire rate, I'm actually going to put this down lower on the list. So for me, Defender is not a gun that I would pick up, so I'm not going to put it on the B tier. For me, this is kind of a gun that goes more into the C tier of things. Up next we have Stellar Wind, which is kind of like Defender. It is sort of a sniper, so to speak. Very fast fire rate, but the damage is not as good as Defender. Again, something that I would use early game if you don't have any other weapons, and if you were forced pretty much to shoot at people, but not something that I would keep throughout the match, and definitely gonna put that next to the Defender. Now, up next, I can see we have the 3 shotguns aligned. Now, shotguns this season are really bad. I don't know why they decided to change shotguns, because in the previous patch, Ancient Star was pretty good. You could actually like one-tap people with blue armor, and Hound was also pretty good because the headshot damage was actually super, super nice. And Fnatic is just a kind of like shotgun that you spam with, and up close, it can destroy people. But in this current patch, I would not recommend using any of these 3 guns. They are really, really bad. Basically, you can take a shot, you can fall asleep, you can take another shot, fall asleep again. Yeah, would not recommend. Definitely avoid using these guns. They are not good anymore. So I'm sorry for the shotgun lovers out there. You don't have any guns anymore. Okay, up next we have M4. Now, M4 is an interesting assault rifle. M4 is one of those ARs that is present in every shooter game. Last patch, it didn't really get picked up that much because VSS and AK were so strong. But I feel like in this patch, this M4 is actually pretty good. The damage output is decent, but also from longer ranges, it is easier to beam people. Now, if you use an M4 with a 4x scope on it, it almost feels like a VSS from the previous patch. So I would definitely recommend you give it a try. It is a very solid weapon, not a lot of recoil, and very easy to use. The only thing that I would watch out for with M4 is that hipfire is really not good. So if you are going for an M4 loadout, make sure you have a good SMG to go with. Now, MG7 and Rhino are care package weapons. MG7 we do not see on Thunder Realms at all. This is a weapon that you can get on Sunset City or Lambton from the care packages. And then we also have Rhino. Both of these guns are very fun to use. Definitely would pick them up just for fun or to mess around with them. I don't know if they really belong on this tier list, so I'm just gonna skip them for now. Okay, up next we have Generator. Now, Generator is an assault rifle, which is actually not bad. Like, if you get this weapon early on in the game and you fire at people, it is not bad. You can actually kill people and you can do some decent damage. But later off in the game, it really falls off, because when people have upgraded armor, you just don't one clip anymore, even if you hit a lot of shots. It's a nice and okay gun, but definitely would not put it higher than Jupiter or Mad Rabbit or Bar 95. So definitely for me goes into that B section over here. Up next, we have AK, and AK has been the king of ARs in this game for the past couple of months. I mean, it has nice damage output, it has decent range, and if you really master the AK, you can become an absolute monster in this game. So this one definitely goes into the S tier for me, even in this patch. And honestly, if you guys are struggling with how to use this gun, here is a Lies from the Past clip, which will explain how to use the AK and how you can easily control it. Okay, guys, look at this. And I'm gonna use my teammate here as an example, okay? You can see 3 little pins on this iron side. So middle one, left and right, okay? If you aim the outer pins where the shoulders are, you will always headshot. Because, let me tell you why. The recoil actually for the AK goes up. So if you just aim the AK the way I just explained it, you will always hit headshots, guys, always. Because it goes upwards. Just aim the 2 outer pins towards the shoulders, and then you will be able to headshot people. Up next, we have Porcupine, which is a decent assault rifle. Very nice fire rate, decent damage output, but not quite as strong as M4 or AK. And I would just put it on next to the Jupiter and Generator. Up next, we have Mad Rat, and this is a very interesting assault rifle because Mad Rat has actually been buffed, and medium to close range, this assault rifle is really deadly. But I do feel like Mad Rat is a bit of a struggle from longer ranges because of the bullet burst that you have pretty much. So I really like this gun. I would definitely put it in the A tier just because I do think that me personally, I like M4 and AK just a little bit more because I'm more consistent with it, especially from longer distances. Up next, we have Invader, and Invader is one of those guns. It has actually really good damage, but the fire rate is that slow that it makes the gun pretty much unusable, because any other gun will outgun you in the matter of 1 second. So this gun, I am gonna put it down on the C tier. I don't think it's a very good gun. Early game, if you have to use it, then yeah, you have to, but you want to throw it away as fast as possible. Up next, we have VSS, and VSS last season was very strong. So many people used it. Every time you were like in a fight, you could hear like multiple VSSs going off. This patch, that is completely not the case anymore. VSS has been nerfed, and while it's still a decent gun, I would not recommend it over any of the S or A tier weapons. So I would definitely put it in the B tier. It has fallen off a lot, but it's definitely not a bad gun. And last but not least, we have the UMP. Now, UMP is an SMG which is pretty decent. It is one of those SMGs which I would recommend for people that are starting out the game, or if you're not very comfortable with the high fire rate of Uzi and SMG, this is a really great alternative. UMP also has a really nice hipfire, so I can definitely recommend if the other guns are a little bit too hard to use, I can definitely recommend this one. It's very nice to use, and yeah. Honestly, I kind of want to put it in A tier, but at the same time, it's not as good as the White Dwarf. So I am going to put it in B tier. It's more of a casual gun, but definitely not a bad one. And there you have it. This is my tier list of how I think which weapons are best to worst. Now, some of you might be wondering, Lights, but what loadout are you using? Well, me, most of the time, I am either going for M4 or AK, and alongside of that, I will take Uzi or White Dwarf. If I am playing a sniper, I am probably going to be picking up a Uzi or White Dwarf and then the Bar 95. And as I said before, no shotguns, guys. Don't worry about them. They are dead. Goodbye. We loved you.